Shocking, huh? Anyway, Season 3 of Supernatural, or more like the truncated season of Supernatural, which is why this season is a different kind of case, and why Ellen and Joe didn't show up in this season, even though they did try to get the actress playing Ellen back. Well, at least that takes care of both mysteries that I had for this season. But on the rewatch of this season, I'm actually kind of surprised with the feel of it, because when I rewatched last season, I felt that there were actually more continuity bits than I remembered. Well, to my surprise, I felt that there were actually less continuity stuff in this season than what I remembered. Oh, don't get me wrong, we had plenty of longer story arcs. Bella's story arc, Ruby factoring in there, Dean referencing that he's going to hell in a decent amount of episodes, showcasing far more powerful demons than we had before, the resolution to Gordon and the black FBI guy, which I did not remember at all, and I love the fact that they brought those guys back. Sure, it was kind of a bummer to write both of them off, but there's only so many times you can bring a character like them back before something changes, and the most obvious things to do are to either kill them or make them a good guy. But of course, the FBI guy is a good guy, he just has the wrong interpretation of what's going on. And Gordon, severely misguided in what he's trying to do, because as we know, not every vampire, both in this universe or other universes, is bad. Right. So, we had plenty of ongoing story arcs, but I was also surprised at just how many episodes fit in just as a more episodic thing, like Mystery Spot, the Return of the Ghostfacer guys, another nice throwback. And, what was it, Ghostfacers or Ghost Whispers? Well, whatever. The fact that I can't remember the name of their web show shows just how obnoxious the whole concept was, but it was still creative what they did, don't get me wrong on that. Just, it's almost like I'm taking my words back, so I'm pretty impressed with how this season was able to do both what I was expecting it to and something that I wasn't really expecting it to. Yeah. Other things to mention. So I think last time that I watched this season, I didn't totally comment that much on Kate Cassidy's portrayal of Ruby. I wouldn't know. I haven't been watching my previous reviews because I want this to be as fresh as possible. So if I contradict something that I said 10 years ago, I apologize, but it was 10 years ago. But her portrayal as Ruby, I loved her as Ruby, just like how she's able to just change all those emotions on a dime, to putting the boys in line, offering her help, being just mysterious enough to cause an issue, and that was great, especially since she revealed that she had actually been human at one point, and it seemed like that it wasn't that her mind got twisted by whatever spirit that she was trying to summon. It seems like that spirit, whilst taking over the human body, or at least... Wait, no, sorry. Because you gotta remember that Ruby was trapped behind the Devil's Gate. So, yeah, that wasn't her original body, even though they did choose to have an actress that looked like Kate for that original bit, although it could be that she just found a body that was a lot like her original. Okay. But even if that was her original body, could have been, although I don't think so, now it just shows that that spirit didn't totally erase everything. So that is impressive, because it's one thing for an actress to say a line like that, and another to believe it. But I believe it, because James Earl Jones, if you watch his Field of Dreams speech, you would never guess that in real life he actually doesn't care for baseball. He never hated baseball. He just didn't follow baseball, or probably any sports for that matter. But the fact that he was able to deliver that speech and then appear in a surprising number of baseball movies, yeah. Goes to show you there is something different between just saying the line and then you believe it, but in these two cases, you believed it. Yeah. So yeah, good job, Kate. I really loved her portrayal, although the way that they ended what they did with the character at the end of the season, that wasn't good. But I mean, like, I understand why they did it, because you had the writer's strike really hamper what they could do with the season, and then somehow they were able to get wind that budget cuts would force them to not be able to bring her back, even though the demon that exits the body at the end of the season is, without question, Lilith, not Ruby. So, I don't know if multiple consciousnesses are a thing in this universe. I'm inclined to doubt it, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they bring that up later on. Yeah, because now that I think about it, that is just way too obvious of an idea for them to not do in 12 more seasons, plus the prequel. Or the anime, because that was produced after this season. Yeah, so I gotta see if I remember this for a future season. Let's see if I'm right. So yeah, I just loved her portrayal of Ruby, and then character Belle. I loved the fact that she is helping and at the same time not really helping the two boys. I mean, like, Ruby is kind of doing the same thing, but unlike my past memories of this season, I feel that her heart was in the right place, but Sam and Dean don't ever cross the line, but it's understandable because, again, she's one of the demons that was released from the Devil's Gate. Shouldn't be wanting to help them, but she is. It's tough, especially since she's like, yeah, I know who holds your contract, Dean. Oh, I'm not going to tell you, but then she does, so yeah. Although, I wish that they had been a little less cryptic with a little bit of the dynamic between them, like not telling them that Lilith was the one that held the contract. Well, that's presumably because they're going to use the character in next season. I can't remember if they do, but I would hope that they do, otherwise then that character was a complete waste of time. But if they do, that helps build up the character and gets a strong send-off. That's fine, but it looks like we're getting a little bit more. It seems like that there was a little bit of a subtle callback to Sam's abilities that they keep referencing with that psychic woman in season 1, and then various people do in the second season. You know, where Sam was brought with all the other people that had those abilities, then they all die except for him. But there's John's warning to Dean that he might have to kill Sam. Well, it seems like that there were actually a little bit of references to that in this season, and I think I recall a little bit of that at the beginning, but then the later things where they're being cryptic, saying that Sam could do more. I wish that had been a little more obvious, especially since I'm not actually watching any other shows or movies other than this one, so it should be a little bit more on my mind. So I wish that had been a little bit better, but then again, that does kind of reinforce the point that I said earlier, where this season had some more episodic things put in there, and the writers' strike forced them to change the flow of the season, so maybe I'm talking out of my butt, I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm sure that there's more I could say, but at the same time, there is the original review that I have, and almost everything else is just something that was already on the show. Because, like, I could talk a little bit about the Seven Deadly Sin episode and then that God episode, but I just don't see that much merit to doing that other than just, it's creative. They're trying to look into some stuff and broaden the lore of this show because, as they mentioned in the special features, they've had enough episodes that they're creating their own lore with a couple of things, like how the vampires' fanes react differently than other universes. And then also in the special features, they brought up the issue of changelings. I didn't really pay attention to that, although maybe I should have. And then anything else I could mention that would involve spoiling something that I know that happens in seasons 4 through 6, even though I barely remember anything from season 6. So I guess it's time to call it good. Take care, everyone.